Greetings, children. Welcome to the online classes. This is Aishwarya. Please like and subscribe the channel for the further updated videos. The following video is for class 4, subject General Science, chapter 7, birds, their feathers, beaks and claws. In the previous class, we learned about what the kind of creatures are birds and what are the different types of wings they have. So now in this class, we are going to learn about the different kinds of beaks. Last class, we learned about the different kinds of wings, that is fast takeoff wings, soaring wings, high speed wings, slow flapping wings, long distance flyer wings, and flightless birds like ostrich, penguin, and kiwi. So in this video, we're going to learn about different kinds of beaks and what are their uses. Now, birds use their beaks for just about everything. They don't have hands like how we do. Their hands are the wings they have, which they use for flying. So their beaks act like their hands. Whatever we eat with our hands, or we clean our body with our hands. Same way, they also use their beaks for everything, for about everything, to clean their body, to eat, to break open the nuts, or for everything they use their beaks. They use their beaks for making nests, feeding their youngs, grooming their feathers, defending themselves, and eating. For all of these things, they use their beaks. The beaks are different according to what the bird eats and does. Whatever depending upon the what they eat, mainly depending on what they eat, their beaks are modified. All the birds beaks are not similar, or they are not same. Their purpose is the same, but what they eat is different, so their beak also looked different. Birds do not have teeth, right? Birds do not have any teeth in their inside the beak, so the biting, tearing, and chewing of the food are done by the beak itself. How we use our teeth to bite, to tear the food, to chew the food and everything, right? So because they don't have teeth, their beaks itself help them uh, to bite, to tear, to chew the food, to swallow the food. So uh, there are different kinds of beaks. uh, all the birds do not have similar beaks, so birds have different types of beaks. The different types of beaks are hooked beaks, conical beaks, tweezer beaks, strainer beaks, sipping beaks, spare beaks, probing beaks. We are going to learn about all these kinds of beaks. Okay. First, we are going to begin with hooked beaks. As the name says, the some birds like eagle, hawks, falcons, owls, vultures, and buzzards have hooked beaks. Now, I request you to keep the textbook with you when you are going through the video. It will help you learn the lesson better. Okay. So, I am reading from page number 61 in your textbook. So the hooked beaks have some birds like eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, vultures, and buzzards have hooked beaks. The upper part of the beak curves down over the lower part and comes to the sharp point. These beaks help the bird for catching, biting, and tearing the flesh of their prey. Usually, these hooked beaks help in eating the flesh of the other animals. It is for the birds who eat the flesh of other animals. Okay, so their beak should be sharp, and it looks like a hook. Okay, hook means the upper part of the beak curves down over the lower part, and comes to a sharp point, so it looks like a beak. So the examples of the hooked beak birds are eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, vultures, buzzards, etc. Okay, these are the kind of birds who have hooked beaks. Next is the conical beak. Conical beak are birds that eat nuts and seeds, have short and conical beaks. Now these birds have short beaks. Okay, how you saw hooked beak, it is a little longer than these beaks. So they help the bird to crack open the hard shell, eat the soft inner food. To eat the soft inner food. Then these beaks help the bird to break open the nuts. Okay, the nuts will have hard covering, like groundnuts. Groundnuts have hard covering, right? And walnuts, they have hard covering. Now to crack open those coverings, these conical beaks help the birds. Examples of birds which have conical beaks are sparrows, finches, cardinals, grosbeaks, and gunjos have these type of cracker style beak. The other name for conical beak is cracker style beaks. The examples are sparrow, finches, cardinals, grosbeaks, and gunjos. Now these birds have conical beaks and it helps them to eat the nuts and seeds. Next one is tweezer beaks. Tweezers means it is like a plucker. Okay, so some birds eat insects. Now these birds who eat insects pick up the insect and hold it in their beak. That is why they have tweezer like beaks. They have thin tweezer like beaks to pick up and hold on to the small insects. Okay, so these birds, the examples for the birds which have tweezer beaks are warbler, wrens, and orioles are the birds with these types of beaks. Here you can see the examples of warbler, wrens, and orioles. They have, how you can see, they have small but it looks like a tweezer. It is easy to catch and pick up the small insects. Then next one is strainer beaks. Strainer, strainer beaks. Now, uh, now you must have seen the aquatic birds like ducks and geese. Now ducks and other water birds who eat water plants and aquatic invertebrates, so they have strainer beaks. Strainer beaks means these beaks filter the food out from the mouth full of water, sand, and other water debris. Now they'll take a lot of water in their beak, and only the food will be left inside the beak, and all the other thing will come out of the holes from the side. So the examples are the ducks and the geese. Here you can see they have a hole in the side of their beak, so that from that hole the animal or their food will be left inside the beak, and all the waste, the water, sand, and other water debris will just fall out of the beak. So these are called the strainer beaks. Example for strainer beaks, duck and geese. Next one is sipping beaks. Sipping beaks means how we sip, right? Like that. So sipping beaks are long and slender. They are long and slender. If you know hummingbird, hummingbird is the best example for sipping beaks. It's like a straw. Okay, they are like a straw to suck nectars from flowers. Okay, to suck nectars from flowers, they are the beak are like a straw. How we use straw to drink juices. Like that, these birds use their beaks to drink the nectar from the flowers. Now, the examples for birds having sipping beaks are hummingbird and the sunbird. These two are the birds which have straw-like beaks. They are also called as spear beaks. So, this example is hummingbird. Sorry, this is the sipping beaks. So, the example is hummingbird and the sunbirds. Easy to remember. Next one is spare beaks. Spare beaks means herons, terns, kingfishers, egrets, and other fish-eating birds have spear-like beaks. They help the birds to stab or strike the fish. Some dive at the fish while some others stand at the water waiting the prey to come near them. Now, how we do fishing? No, these birds also go fishing. So when they go fishing, some of them attack, and some of the birds wait in the corner for the fish to come near them so that they can eat them. Okay, that is called the spare beak. Examples are herons, terns, kingfishers, and egrets. Here are the examples: kingfisher, and the examples are kingfisher, egrets, herons, and terns. Okay, they have spare beaks. The next one is probing beaks. Now, in probing beaks, some beaks and some beaks look similar, but they serve different purposes. Okay, now the beaks of ibis and snip, they look similar, but they are for different purposes. Now, spare beaks and probing beaks looks similar. Now we saw the examples. No, spare beaks and the probing beaks look similar, but they are different. Probing beaks of the ibis, curlews, snip, and godwit were are set slendered. These birds use their beaks to probe from the verb, insects, etc. in the muddy and shallow water. Now, here is the example of the ibis, curlew, snip, and godwit, and which have the slender beaks. Okay, these are specially used for probing. Means they put the beak inside the muddy water or in the shallow water, and they pick out the worms or insects or small aquatic animals, so that it will be helpful. It is like the food for them. Okay, then the remaining special beaks, we will cover it in the next video. So stay at home, stay safe, take care of yourself, keep learning. I request you to read the textbook and do the exercises in the textbook, whichever lesson we have completed, and do the exercises in your workbooks as well. Thank you, children.